Alright guys, I'm back here with another video today. I'm actually at a Wingstop. They have the games on in the background, so I'm doing my best that I can to be able to drown out that noise on editing. So if you notice today, I actually went ahead and went to the barber. So during tax season, it's just been very difficult for me to find time for myself to go to the barber and to be able to actually make an appointment and for it to be successful. And so, unfortunately, if you have been following the news or any people around you, the barbers have been having a very hard time lately. I've actually heard of a lot of situations where they're struggling. I have different people that I know that their business has gone down quite a bit. And the barber that I have, his business has gone down a lot too. He has multiple streams of income. And so, in today's world, I think a lot of people have multiple streams of income. It was very uncommon to hear the average American have multiple streams of income 20, 30, 40 years ago. Right now, it's very common for people to have multiple streams of income. Many people that I know have side gigs and they also work at a regular 9 to 5 job where maybe they're getting benefits for healthcare and they're contributing to retirement. I know many people that have small businesses and do that, and they don't let go of that 9 to 5 job mostly because of the healthcare, because it's gotten ridiculously expensive. And so a lot of the times you'll have a husband and wife where maybe one person will have a full-time business and it will do extremely well, but even then, maybe they have a spouse that's making decent money, maybe somewhere around $30,000, $40,000 a year, and that spouse gets really good health benefits that pretty much protect the entire family. Sometimes these families have 2 to 3 children, and all the children are insured. They go to the doctor frequently. Some of them might have pre-existing health conditions, and so it's very vital for someone in the family to continue in that position, even if maybe they're not completely happy with that job, but it pretty much covers the entire family. So unfortunately, we've come down to that in today's world. But yeah, like I said, the barber that I have, uh, he actually, like I said, he does this only Thursday through Saturday now. He used to do this full time, and it was very easy for me to pick a day anywhere between Monday and Saturday, and I was able to get in, make an appointment. I was there once a week, and I was able to get it done. But recently, like I said, he only does Thursday through Saturday, and so sometimes that interferes with my schedule, so I'm not able to go in as frequently as I want to. And but yeah, I try to trim the beard as best as I could. I know it's gotten kind of crazy, and I did get a lot of pushback on some videos that I filmed on the past couple days. But here I am, trying to take a little bit of time for myself and to be able to re-energize for the following week. We are entering a crucial time for tax season. It's also going to be March 15th. And once it hits March 15th, we have a lot of deadlines, especially with those people that decided to open up an LLC last year or possibly even an S corporation. There's a lot of people opening up a lot of LLCs. There's a lot of misinformation on social media where a lot of people are opening up LLCs because they think that if they don't have one, that they can't run a proper business, which is very untrue. LLC is only for certain types of businesses, and if you are in the situation where you can possibly save some money on taxes, then yes, go ahead and open up one LLC. But like I said, it's not for everybody. A lot of people have been struggling. I have noticed this past last 2 3 weeks, less and less refunds are coming in. More and more people are paying taxes. I do have a mix of wealthy individuals and people who are barely making it. And I have people that I know that they're just not being 100% truthful with the amount of money they make. Maybe they make pretty decent money on their W-2 form, but I know for a fact that they have a side gig that they are not telling me about, which I'm not a private investigator. I do my best to be able to provide my services to my clients. And if they want to go ahead and own up to the fact that they're running a small business. I will help them out as much as I can. But there are a lot of people out there that do hide a lot of income. And so that's the only way that a lot of people are making ends meet by, like I said, making cash on the side. But it's getting harder and harder to be able to get cash from people because we are entering into a very cashless society nowadays. One thing that I did want to talk about today, though, is the fact that I just want to let you guys know that I actually go to the barber in Mexico. I actually stopped using my barber in United States, which I am lucky. The fact that I have proximity to the border where I live at, it's actually not that far. And I also have something called the Global Entry Pass. And so I'm able to enter and exit Mexico really fast. Usually the average wait time when I cross the border, somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes. So that's the reason why I'm able to do that. For most people out there, though, unfortunately, you cannot do that. You cannot just cross the border and get good access to different things that we that live close to the border have access to. So my barber, he's actually very experienced. He's done a lot of competitions and he's actually made very good money in the past. But like I said, even then, someone that has that amount of talent is still struggling to be able to keep a lot of customers in today's economy. And so today, when I went in, I paid him $25, which is what he charged to both cut my hair and trim my beard, which took him about an hour or so. And I gave him a $5 tip. So I ended up giving him about $30 equivalent in the US dollars, which the reason why I checked out of using barbers in my area several years ago was because I saw the writing on the wall and things were just getting really ridiculous. So the last time that I used a barber in the US, just to get my beard trimmed, it took about 30 to 40 minutes. I spent $50. You heard that right, $50 just to get my beard trimmed. Now, I don't go to these cheap places. I go to places that I think that are decent, but it wasn't high class either. It was something that anybody would go to. But yeah, it was $50, and at that point, I said, you know what, no more. So there was other barbers that I would go to, but unfortunately, a lot of the old school barbers that were charging, maybe somewhere around $15 to $20, a lot of them have retired or passed away. Especially after COVID, a lot of the good talent, unfortunately, that was decently priced, have pretty much checked out of the game. They're out. And so what's going on now is you're getting a lot of these new age barbers that just because they have a ring light, now they want to go ahead and charge 50, 60, 70. I've even heard of instances on the internet where people are charging close to $100 or more just for a good haircut or a beard trim, which I think is just insane. It's just insane that these people can get away with it and that there's people that are willing to pay that money. It's just out of this world. And so that's my own reason why I've checked out. But like I said, for you guys that don't have the luxury to do that, I say that you find yourself someone that is decently priced because I understand that things are very expensive in the US. And so I know for a fact that people do have to charge a fair price for their work, which right now I think the equivalent in most areas is what, $20 an hour is like the minimum going rate anywhere, right? So anything less than that, and I think it's very hard to make a living wage. But I think that as of right now in 2025, I think a decent rate for a good barber is probably somewhere, if they spending an hour on you, 45 minutes to an hour, I would think that probably anywhere between $25 and $30, I think is decent. Anything above that, if you have a barber charging you somewhere around 45, 50, 60, $70 or more in 1 hour, I think at that point you're paying too much. I think that it's very important to do your due diligence, ask your relatives, because I think that a lot of the people that are a little bit older, I think they will actually have a very good suggestion as to where you can still get a good haircut, or maybe even for women too. I think it's gotten ridiculous how much women pay for their services. I've heard of stories of women paying over $1,000 just to go in. I know my sister, She went to a salon not too long ago, and I think her bill was like $400 or $500 for some stuff that she did to her hair. So, and I think barbers can make pretty decent money, but the internet and social media has really exaggerated how much barbers can make. I've even heard of clients telling me that their children, they want to become barbers because they see that they can make a ton of money real fast. And it's all overblown. Yes, you can make good money, but you have to make sure that you do it in a fair way without ripping off your customers. I myself, with all the knowledge that I have and all the experience that I have, I try to charge what I think is fair for my services, but at the same time, I want to make sure that my prices are competitive because there's a lot of people out there that they don't know how to price their services. So it's very important that you also make sure that you find out what your competitors are charging and try to stay within that amount, because if you overcharge your customers, they will not come back. And I think that that is actually what's going to be able to differentiate the businesses that are able to make it in this coming economy. Because right now, there's not as much money floating around. So you have to also be competitive with your pricing. So for all of you out there that have a small business, make sure that you do your due diligence and also make sure that you charge a fair rate because you don't want to undercut yourself. You still have to be able to pay all your bills because everything's so expensive. And so there has to be a lot of fairness out there. So I have noticed sometimes I'll get new clients that used to do their taxes with a CPA firm that was charging for 1 hour of work, or probably even less, close to $1,000, which is ridiculous. I mean, I understand you want to charge a fair price, but you also don't want to charge a lot more than your competition. There has to be a reason why you charge a certain amount. You want to make sure you live a good lifestyle, but you also don't want to rip off the consumer. So I want to know in the comments below, how much do you pay for your haircuts, or if you cut your own hair? Because I get more and more people telling me that they are cutting their own hair. They actually buy their own equipment and they learn how to cut their own hair and trim their own beards, which I think is great. Unfortunately, I do not have that talent. And so I choose to pay someone for their services, just like people pay me to do their taxes. There's a lot of people out there that do their own taxes. And so I choose to just pay someone, just like there's a lot of my clients out there that say yes. Or look at people that are bald, they have no hair, so they actually never go to the barber. You know, what do they go to the barber for? Maybe they just have a family relative just shave their head and they're good to go for another couple months. Please let me know in the comments below how much you pay. And for all the women out there that are following me, what do you pay for your services, or what's the average going rate right now? I would like to know because the United States has a lot of different economies. So maybe in Southern California, maybe there's barbers that are charging $100 and they can get away with it. But I think that there's still areas in the United States where barbers are still charging $15 to $20 for a haircut. Certain rural places in the United States, I think, are still charging a decent amount. The times that I've been out of state, I have noticed that the gas is lower and the rents are lower. So I would think that people who are providing these types of services are also charging something less competitive for people to be able to keep coming in and to be able to use their services. So other than that, uh, as we all know, we have a lot of pullback right now. We have a lot of different things going on in the world. I don't really want to talk about that subject too much right now because it's still an ongoing thing. Obviously, as you know, the president has been talking to the Ukrainian president, trying to come up with a peace deal, which I think is great. I really hope that they're able to come up with a good agreement where the United States is able to take advantage of some of their resources, because we have poured in, the American taxpayer has poured in a lot of money into that war between Ukraine and Russia. So I really do hope that the United States is able to come up with some of those resources and take advantage of that. That ways, maybe we can go ahead and start pouring some of that money into the U.S.'s infrastructure, and maybe some of that money will trickle down into the economy, and eventually the American consumer and taxpayer will benefit. Thank you for supporting me, and I'll continue to provide another video for you guys tomorrow. and as much as I can, continue to provide you guys good content that I think will make you guys a better person. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.